Blessed Day Reflection by Abia listeners. My name is Abia Grant, and we are here to reflect on our life journey. We will be discussing topics related to self-awareness, self-improvement, and mental health. Also, the purpose of this safe space is for us to be free to discuss the ups and downs, celebrate the wins, and talk about ways to improve the lows. So welcome to this podcast, and I hope you gain something from this time we share together. How you doing? Welcome back to Reflection by Abia. It is your girl Abia Grant. I hope everyone is doing well and having a blessed day. I know you guys are probably hearing the birds in the background. I got the window open in my room, and it is about 6:54 a.m. this morning or in the morning, and we are up getting into this podcast episode. This is episode number 23 of the podcast, so welcome to another episode and everything. I hope everyone is doing well and just really having a blessed day. This week has been, I like to start a little bit about my weekend or my week. This week has been very busy. I actually celebrated two co-workers' birthdays this week. So we are, tired. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we are pushing on, and I'm just happy to be able to share another year of life with people who are just awesome people. But outside of that, I just have been home, running errands, and how life be life and everything like that. But as I stated before, I hope that you guys are doing well, and your week has been prosperous. If you've been running around, I hope that your week eventually or your day is calm. We're gonna try to get a little bit of relaxation on today, but we will see what happens. So let's go ahead and get into this podcast episode. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I started off taking notes for this episode, and it was going to go in a specific direction, at least in my mind. I thought it was. And this morning, it just was like, no, this is not the direction I want to go. I want to go a different direction. So what I am going to be discussing in this podcast episode is feelings versus perception. So you know that I am a definition girly and everything. So I have the definition of feelings or feel. Basically, it's an emotional or physical experience or awareness. Now, feelings, we spoke about this in prior podcast episode. I have some examples here. It could be anger, joy, sadness, and fear. And amongst, other different categories as well too, but those are the ones that I jotted down. Now, perception is the ability to notice something. Example I have here, or examples, are sight, smell, hearing, touch, and taste. So I was at first going into it in the space of thinking that we are so accustomed of disconnecting our feelings from our body. So the direction that I was going in was that with feelings and perception, I think that, speaking for myself and possibly, you guys have felt this way, is that we are so accustomed to turning off our feelings. We are so accustomed to doing things, for what we think is the betterment of a situation. And a lot of times in that outcome is not necessarily what we want it to be, because we are doing what I want to say others think that is best, and or we are not being true to how we're feeling. So it's like we are going against ourselves. Now, one of the, topics I guess you can say is that I was speaking about, I believe last week, on starting like my own business, and I was speaking about how that I was doing like self-care and all the rest of that stuff. And I'm just giving an example because there's been many times in which I try to do what I think is best for, which I think is going to bring me joy, but it's not necessarily going to be bringing me joy, and I'm basing it off of what others think should be best for me and not really taking it into consideration on how I feel about it. So I spoke about how that I had my skincare business, and one of the things that has been in the back of my head is like, I always wanted to I thought that I wanted to get back into doing skincare, right? Listening to the thoughts and opinions of others, and just my own thoughts in regards to that, okay, I'm good at this. It took me a while to even put the equipment away, and I left the equipment out because I was like, you know what? We're going to get back into this once things, slow down. This is, what is going to possibly bring in additional income. This is something that you enjoy doing, and etc. Just all the factors in my head, and not being true to myself and saying that, okay, yeah, this is something that you are good at. However, is this a thing that you want to do? Like, I'm at the time of my life where I feel like I have a voice, and speaking on this mic and posting, my thoughts and other ways in which I express my feelings, I guess you can say, is what brings me happiness at this point. And I told you guys last week that I had packed up everything because it was like, it hit me, and it was like, Abia, yeah, although this is something that you enjoy doing, doesn't necessarily mean that this is what you need to be doing at this particular, moment in your life. And I spoke about it last week in regards to feeling like just because you are no longer doing something that brought you joy in the past or peace in the past doesn't mean that you necessarily gave up on it. It just means that it's not needed at this particular point. It's not going to it's not what you really want to do. But one of the things, like, also I feel like I'm in that time of my life where I kind of feel like I pull myself into different directions, and I get so lost into what people, not, I don't want to say what people may say. It kind of is what people may say, but so lost into that opinion or that thought in my head of saying that people are not going to rock with me. Because I'm thinking about it as I'm speaking to you guys, but people would not be there for me. I want to build this platform. I want to build my YouTube space and everything. And is what I'm doing going to be worthwhile, and which is going to help somebody, But one of the things that I've been thinking about this week is that I have to understand that everything is not for everyone. And this is something that I constantly have repeated to myself, and maybe something that I have said in prior, episodes is, that at the end of the day, whatever you do, you have to do what's right for you. Like right now I'm sitting here at my vision board and I'm thinking of it, and I wrote down all the things that I wanted to accomplish this year. And the thing is that I have here, down just being creative, quality time, self-care, financial growth, being more spiritual, setting a routine for myself. And I put up this board because I just want to be able to remind myself these are the things in which you wanted to accomplish this year. These are all the things that you feel like in your past that you have neglected. And unfortunately, running a business is just that's not going to be what brings you joy, because that is going to be taking up a lot of your time. And like one of the other things for me this year is that, I spoke to my friend about this, and I was like, I want to be able to experience more life. I want to go outside. I want to go to the park. I want to enjoy life, and what the different activities and things that's out there to, do and experience, and different fun things, with my friends and my husband. And I can't get so wrapped up in, because I'm not meeting the perception of others, and or what I've created in my own head as what people may say or think about me. I'm just refocusing and trying to eliminate that. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into Reflection by Abia. Feel free to check out the podcast Instagram page and my personal page, simply.abia, also on Instagram. The links will be available in the show notes, so let's get back to the podcast. So guys, I'm going to give you some of the tools that I have been using, and this is things that people have shared with me, things that I have personally researched, in order to just be more present in how I feel and not being so concerned about the perception of whatever outside noise there may be. So I have down here, think about the source it's coming from. I think a lot of times what happens is that people do have opinions on what they think is best for you, but you need to think about, is that person even on your side? Does that person even want what you want? Are they going to help you achieve what you want to achieve? Or are they just a person who's just voicing their opinion and then they go about their day? Number 2, I have here, realize people will have opinions based on their own life circumstances. And I feel like this is a big one. And this is the reason why I share certain things with certain people, because I feel like experiences in life, when you have not dealt with them, it's hard for you to give a sound opinion or thought. And I think that we also have to realize is that whatever is going on in our life in which we may need advice about, that sometimes you have to be conscious on who you are sharing it with, whether it be due to their age, whether it be to their life circumstances. There's several factors, financial, things as well too. Sometimes when, if it's a financial situation, you're trying to accomplish a certain goal, but then you're talking to somebody who's already, financially secure, that can lead to their opinion of, well, you should do this and do that. But it's like, okay, you're good, unless you're giving me the tools in order to accomplish to get to where you are. It's kind of like that opinion is irrelevant to the situation. So you have to be conscious about who you're sharing your information with and the circumstances that person is in, because whatever they're giving you just may not be helpful, to be honest with you. So I have here number 3, understand people will give their opinions, but past that, you are not a thought. So I heard this actually in the podcast episode, and I was like, yo, that is totally accurate. Um, when you go to bed, think about just the opinions that you may have shared with people about whatever they may be going through. Are you honestly really thinking about whatever you share with that person past the point of you sharing whatever it was? I'm going to be honest with you, unless the person is really a close friend to me or family or something like that, I'm not really thinking about whatever topic we discuss. So this is something that I think that people need to keep back in their head, is that take sometimes what people have to say as a grain of salt, because that's all that it is. You may only pass that person once in a blue. So who cares on what they have to say? Now, if you're sharing this information with somebody who's a close friend, family, and etc., then the circumstances are a little bit different. But if you're sharing this information with somebody who's just like an associate, somebody you talk to here and there, or whatever the case may be, then you need to be conscious of, past that point, they're probably not thinking about you. You know, they got their own life that they're dealing with and their own decisions that they have to make. So I have here number 4, be aware with who you share your ideas with. And I just spoke about that before in regards to not all your thoughts or, you know, things that you're trying to make a decision about, or just talking just nonchalantly, should be shared with everyone. You know what I mean? And also we have to take into consideration, if we've shared things with somebody prior to, and this was their response to the situation, 9 times out of 10, their response later on, when you share a new topic with them, it's going to be the same response. And if you did not like what they had to say before, you damn sure are not going to like what they have to say the second time. So it's like you had to create that block and know, okay, I am not going to have this conversation with this particular individual because I already know this person is not going to give me, you know, sound advice or good advice. Now, also at the same time, on the flip side, also be aware about who you share your information with, because at the end of the day, if you're sharing with somebody who has positive feedback, somebody who's positive within their selves, this is a great source to go to. You know, I have friends and family that I do talk to, and I share, you know, things that I'm thinking about doing, and I'm getting positive feedback because these people are in my corner. They want to see me win. This is the reason why I also say, you know, going back to the reverse side, we need to be conscious about who we have friendships with. If you have friendships with people who are not in a good space, if you have friendships with people who are constantly negative, you need to contemplate whether you need to continue that friendship. You know, because having friendship is being able to come to a person and share life experiences. And if one of those life experiences is things that may be going on in and out your life, and if I can't sit down and have a conversation with you, then really what's the point of us having a true friendship? You understand what I'm saying? That we more of an associate. So I have here number 5, focus on your thoughts and feelings, and not the other person thoughts and feelings. And this is where I kind of like drop the ball at. I want to say most often is I'm so concerned about the feelings of other people, and just again going to the other side of the perception of what other people may think about me. And I just need to be concerned about my feelings in this situation. What is best for me? Again, what's going to bring me joy? Again, what's going to bring me happiness? And this is something that I said I'm constantly working on, is not allowing, you know, the feelings of others to, I want to say, get tossed into my bucket of stuff that's going on, you know. And this is a tough one. This is a tough one of focusing on your thoughts and feelings. I think that is where a lot of people fall short, because this is where they be like, well, if I did X, Y, and Z, and this makes this person feel good, then therefore I've, you know, in the interim going to feel good. And that's not always the case. Now, I'm not saying that the flip side that we should ignore other people's feelings, because as I'm saying this, I'm thinking about like relationships, like marriages and or friendships. I'm not saying to neglect how other people may be feeling or whatever experiences they may be sharing with you. I'm saying that take into consideration about whatever decision that you do make, that it's not going to make you uncomfortable, because you're trying to appease somebody else, So, yeah. Now, number 6, I have here build confidence and be sure about your choices. And I feel like this is a big one as well, too. I think a lot of times we get conflicted and we go back and forth and we make a decision about, okay, we want to do this and we want to do that. I remember for me, one of the big things this past year was me driving DoorDash. So one of the things that I was doing to make a side hustle was feeling like, okay, this opportunity is going to bring extra, funds into the household. I'm going to be able to, take care of other expenses and things like that. And I was going back and forth between that choice of whether I'm making the right decision, and if I should be focusing on other things, or should I be focused on the money back, I guess you can say. And I got to a point where it was like burning me out. So I said to myself, okay, you can't do X, Y, and Z because this is not pouring back into you. You need to be doing things which is going to, again, bring happiness. And this is not something, I think I laugh because I think sometimes for me, I get focused on the monetary value of a situation, and what I can get at this particular moment, and not focusing on the overall, I want to say the overall aspect of the situation, on what is going to happen when it starts to take a toll on me. And the same thing comes into like my space with like YouTube and things like that, of putting this burden on me, and feeling like, okay, I had to have this content out about, at this specific time, or it needs to look like this, or, I'm going around to different channels and saying, well, maybe if I add this is going to, bring more people and stuff to my community and all the rest of this stuff. But I get back into the confidence side of things of saying, you know what, Bia, whatever that you're doing is enough. Don't sit here and neglect what you want to do in order to think that you're going to reach this goal. Yeah, you want to reach that goal, but at the end of the day, do what you can do. And going back into, and I know I'm flopping back and forth, but going back into the DoorDash is saying, you know what, this is not what I want to do. And being confident about that and saying, okay, I want to do X, Y, and Z. And, I could say it's like, if there's a part in your life, if there's a journey that you're experiencing and you've been conflicted and going back and forth on whether you should do it or not should do it, but when you do it, you actually feel good about doing it, that is where your mindset needs to be. Not focus on, I want to say, always the end goal. Being focused and being present in the moment on how you actually feel. And when you feel like you're getting burnt out, guys, I'm telling you, I'm a testament. Stop, get your rest and everything, and then resume, slowly start to resume what is going to bring you happiness. And I want to say also, what I did is I created a list of things like, okay, you're doing this and this and this and that, and what can you cut out? Because you are putting too much on your plate. So, yeah. But I know that was a little bit of a, I know that was a lot right there. That kind of deviated into a whole nother topic. But you guys all know that, I like to keep it real on these podcast episodes. This is, I jot down notes and everything like that. But these are my raw and authentic thoughts. So whatever comes out is whatever comes out. But I hope that you gather something from that in regards into feelings and perception, and understanding that you need to be focused on your feelings at the end of the day, and whatever perception is out there, just screw it. At the end of the day, that's not your concern. Hey everyone, thank you for listening to the podcast. So let's get into today's word. So let's go ahead and get into the word of the day, and it is original. And the definition of original is beginning of something or to a thing at its beginning. And some of the synonyms that I have here for original are authentic, genuine, free spirit, true, creative, unique, and individual. And I picked original because this is just a constant reminder to me. It's not worry about, I want to be honest with you guys. For me, not worrying about copying what other people are doing what I want to do, and whoever or whatever situation that's on board, great. And reminding myself that I'm not for everybody. So it's okay for me not to be. And when I say original, it's just being authentic again to who I am. The space and the information and my experience that I have dealt with, and not feeling like I need to put on a show in order to think that, okay, if I do this, then this is going to make me excel. I'm working on my confidence, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm working on my confidence, and this is a daily thing. And I'm sorry, I keep saying this is a daily thing of me working on my confidence, and it's not going to happen overnight, but I'm going to keep at it. So this is where I'm going to lead this week's podcast episode. I hope that you have enjoyed the content and information that I have shared with you today. As always, if you want to reach out to me, you can hit the link down below. That's my link tree, and it will then show all my information, my Instagram for the business, for Reflection by Abia, my personal Instagram, my email, and all the rest of that stuff will be down there. So that is the end of this week's episode. Stay blessed out there in those streets. Make sure that you treat others kindly out there in those streets. And God willing, I will see you in next week's podcast episode. All right, have a good day, guys. Bye. Thank you for listening to Reflection by Abia. Let me know in the comments section what you thought about today's episode, and share the podcast with your friends and family. The link will be available in the show notes.